I was from campus heading home, and I happened to find a guy. He was giving out flyers inviting people for the fellowship. I refused that flyer and he insisted on me. Eventually I accepted that flyer and I continued with my journey. After a week later, I got that flyer and I called him. He directed me where the fellowship was. That was his home. I went there with my sister, but before that, we were still Catholic. Eventually, we fell in love with that fellowship, and it was called Life Talk.
I joined Cway Church. By then, it was Life Talk.
Before, my sister were telling me, "You will meet the pastor is cool, the pastor is funny, the pastor is humble, come and we go." Coming in that service, I didn't want, but for the sake of my mom and my siblings, I came. And I remember when Life Talk, the second service, Musumba said, "If you know you're here and you're not born again, come forward." I went and I confessed and I became born again.
By the way, I wasn't saved. Pastor, I remember he took us to a certain event. It was called Jesus Festival. That is when I gave my life to Jesus.
He took us to Gaba Community Church. I remember it was a fasting period. I loved Gaba Community Church, and when I saw Pastor Kasirivu, I started trusting this guy called Pastor Apollo. It was an Easter day when Cway Church began.
It was in Cway. We started in a tent. Wow. And we used to meet like 20 people, 15 people. It wasn't easy.
I remember 7 years back, yes, we used to hire a tent every Sunday to host our services at church. But then I remember there's someone who came and supported our church, and we bought our first tent. But that first tent, I remember it was a Saturday. It was a Saturday evening. After we finished our rehearsals with the choir, the wind came up, and the wind started shaking up the tent. I was like, "Hey, where is our tent? What is happening to our tent?" But then I saw the wind coming to take our tent. I tried to hold the tent, but then the wind wanted to take me with the tent. Guys, I feel our church was taken on someone's rooftop.
We were neighbors with Pastor Apollo where they were living. So the praise and worship is the one which pulled me, and I started going to that church. Then I became a really committed member for Cway. Then after some time, I started serving in the finances department.
I joined Cway Church way back in 2018. It was one of these crazy and bad evenings. I was driving from work with some heavy traffic, and I had the tire burst just close to the church. So I asked around for some help, and I get to know that there are mechanics close to the church. And as they're working on my car, I get to listen to some music. I remember that song was No Longer Slaves to Fear. So I said, let me try to see what is happening in here. I entered the tent, and the rest is history.
I joined Cway, it was in 2018, September, I was from Congo, this kind of French people. I couldn't know English. In my head, by the way, I was thinking about when I will join, how am I going to talk to people? Is these people going to be generous with me? They're going to be cool with me? Oh, I'm telling you, I was shocked. I found that people here, they are too generous. Especially what makes me to stay here, it was the pastor. I'm telling you, I've never seen a coolest pastor more than Pastor AP.
I'll not lie, the choir made me stay. I loved the music, I loved how these people were singing. It made me actually come back the next Sunday. Then also, the pastor himself, the vibe, the jokes, I felt like this is the person that can fit into my description. He wasn't the type that puts on those musonsos that, Chitwale type, and I really felt like this is my guy. So the church became part of me. I made lots of friends.
After Cway Church had begun, I remember Pastor asking us, where do we want to minister? I remember I told Pastor that I want to be part of the ushering team. and he accepted. By then, he had me singing and was like, Carol, you can sing, but I didn't like singing. I didn't want to be part of the choir.
Then Pastor AP called me and asked me whether I can lead the choir. And I feared. Remember, I couldn't speak English. Then telling a gentle guy who doesn't know English to lead a team of people who knows. It was really hard for me.
So I had to follow him, and I joined choir.
You know, in this journey of music, you have to learn about forgiveness, because people are not perfect, yourself you're not perfect. And you know, when you're an amateur in music, you think that you know. So when people tell you to do things according to the way they want you to do them, for you, you see it as a way of showing off. So it was hard, but because I loved music and I wanted to get better, I stayed. And guys, what I can tell you is that as we are going to celebrate these 7 years, I am the happiest one, because the old me has gone. And nowadays, people talk positive things about me, and I'm like, that's not me. And you hear people telling you, you're humble, and you're like, oh my God, I'm humble, okay.
When I got to know that my love is for children, I started to join children's ministry, and right now it's where I am and I love it.
So from the time I joined Cway, we really never had too much of bonding, too much of connecting. Now the church leadership introduced what we call MCs, and it's out of these MCs that on a day like Sunday, someone can easily know and connect with a friend. You could talk to your friend like you feel like indeed you are a family.
As a church, when they started missional community, I was like, can't I lead a missional community? And I've seen God help me. I was fearful, but then God gave me that passion, that boldness, and I started an MC called Jesus Walkers. And now we are 18 members who are committed, and total we are 24.
So MCs helped us in a way that you would know what your friend has eaten, whether your friend is okay, whether your friend is sick, stand with them, pray with them. So by God's grace, out of this, we started Giant Slayers. I and my wife, we are leading Giant Slayers. We started with about 20 people, but as we talk, we have birthed 2 Heirs of Salvation, and we have also birthed Epitomes of Grace. Heirs of Salvation is having about over 50 people in Chway. What a miracle.
Right now, I'm no longer that troublesome maker who used to be hard on people, tough on people. Right now, I'm a leader in church, and I lead MC called Fireproof. It has produced many MCs, and I'm very happy for that. I'm grateful for God. Right now, I can hold a microphone and I sing, and at least I've had many testimonies from people telling me how I've touched their souls.
I've seen the manifestation of the Holy Spirit when we are serving. We have wrote songs, and there's a time they just invite us in other churches, and we go. We rock the place with the Holy Spirit because God is with us.
Now, serving as the Giant Slayers leader has also given me capacity to lead the youth movement in Cway. And by God's grace, we are also growing under that movement. We've seen God use the youth. Recently, we had our Sunday Fix, where we had people youth turn to Christ. Over time, the past period where we had COVID, the youth had gotten lost. The youth had gotten forgotten. Many people had felt like they are unloved. So we use this as a platform to really call them back to God, where we dance, play, and just let the youth be the youth. And we are seeing God use us in that direction. I think being part of church is a big blessing, and it has positively impacted on my life, my relationship with my beautiful wife, Naira, plus my workplace. I work as a lawyer and also a lecturer at Metropolitan International University, and I've seen God use me as an influence to these students. I've seen testimony after testimony. God has guided me always when I'm talking to them. There are many mistakes I would have made if I wasn't actually in church, and I've seen God actually help me miss out on these traps. Same thing with my legal career. God has helped me. Now, being part of church, there are some things I look at and I'm like, no, I won't go there, because I have principles that I have learned.
Wow, sure, I'm very happy, yes, for these 7 years, because now I'm very happy that the church has its own building right now, because, yes, I remember I look back 7 years back, yes, I remember those days we used to carry machines to and from. I remember those falling tents. Every morning we used to wake up worried about the tent. How is the tent? How is the church? But now we just wake up, come, open the door, close. Wow, sure, I give all the thanks to God, and sure, God has really been nice to us.
When I started serving in the finance departments, the finances were so low. We used to collect like 20,000, 15,000. Even people are not giving tithe. Sometimes when it was Pastor Apple, we used to give money, and that was our offering. After some time, then we got a place that's renting. That was this place here where we are now. We had hardships. Sometimes the rain would come. If you hear the tent has fallen down, it was so hard. But in that very time, we used to continue trusting God. Then our finances started growing slowly by slowly. Our tithe and offering has really grown up from 10,000. Now we are counting millions of money. We are counting dollars as Cway. I'm so happy about it. We even own properties, even where we're sitting right now. It's our own property for Cway. We also have better machines for video and sound. Nice machines. I really want to thank God. I really want to thank God also. We bless even other churches. We are giving. It's good to give than to receive. We also bless others. God has been so great and so precious in Cway. I really want to thank you, Cway members. Thank you so much for your giving. Thank you for your generosity. May God bless you big. May God increase you, enlarge your territories.
My vision and my dream is to see that every village around Bulabira, Chitukutwe, Nigeria has youth calling upon God. I know this is possible because we have MCs, we have our active MCs, and I see ourselves having more locations. I see ourselves having more zonal leaders, more cohort leaders. I really see Cway going far. I see us becoming a mega church. I really see God doing a marvelous work in us.
Imagine we have started to compose our own songs and powerful songs. So when I'm looking 7 years next, we are going to rock Africa.
I see myself as a transformational leader. The way God transformed me, I want to impact people. I want many people to change, not because of me, but because of where God has brought me from.
As we celebrate 7 years of Cway, I also thank God. I joined Cway as a single young lady, but now I'm married. What a faithful God. Thank you, Pastor Apollo and Mama Nate, for encouraging us, for preparing us. You're such amazing people. May God bless you. Kongs Cway.
Thank you so much, Pastor Apollo, Mommy Annette, for standing with us, for leading us, and for your generosity. May God bless you so much. Happy Cway 7.
Happy 7 years.